One of the 3 best isekai. Actually 4, but my favorite debate is a shit anime. The story of a 34 years old failure who got a second chance and somehow made us all care about it. It's been 2 years since season 2 ended, 2 long years of wondering when Rudeus Graveyard would return to our screens. But finally, Mushoku Tensei season 3 is here. Today we're doing the full deep dive. The author who basically built the modern isekai blueprint from his own regrets. The light novel that dominated Shueisha ni Naruto for nearly 6 straight years. The manga season 1 and 2 of anime. And what season 3 is about to do to your feelings. Hey, it's Matty, don't forget to smash that like button, drop a comment and subscribe to the channel for more anime and manga content like this. Let's dive in. First, as always, let's talk about the mind behind this madness. Refugee na Maganote. Born in 1985 in Gifu Prefecture, Maganote's love for fiction started in elementary school, when he watched Whisper of a Heart. You know, the Ghibli film about a kid figured out what they want to do in their life. Kind of ironic considering what happens next. In junior high, he joined the computer club and started writing novels on the text editor. Just a kid messing around with stories. After graduating university in 2007, he did what every aspiring author does. He submitted manuscripts to publishers, and they rejected every single one. He wanted to quit, like actually quit. He figured, okay, I guess I'm not a writer, and he walked away. But here's where it gets interesting. Years later, he's reading a web novel called Monster by Konekiro Kagitsune, and he discovers the site called Shueisha ni Naruto. He starts reading what other people are uploading and he thinks, wait, nobody's heroes ridiculing each other, nobody's gatekeeping. What if I just posted something? So in November 2012, he uploads the first chapters of Mushoku Tensei, and it explodes. Within a year it hits number 1 on Shueisha ni Naruto combined popularity rankings, and it stays there not for a month, not for a year, from October 2013 to February 2019. Over 5 years it sits at the top undefeated. That's not just popular, that's historical. But here's the part that really gets me. Maganote has his fascinating relationships with fighting games, and it basically shaped his entire career. He started playing them at around 18 years old. Back then he wasn't good with people at all, but in the arcade you're competing face to face without knowing anyone's real name. And through that he learned communication, manners, how to read a room, not from a self-help book, from getting his ass kicked in Street Fighter or whatever he's playing. But then he hit a wall. He was the strongest player in the local area, but nationally, middle of a pack. And he knew he could get better. He could travel, find stronger opponents, level up. But he didn't. He ran away from the frustration. He chose comfort over growth. And the regret? That's the fuel that burned through every chapter of Mushoku Tensei. When the writing got hard, when he wanted to quit, when the deadlines were crushing him, he would think, if I flake out here, I'll be the same as back then. I'll be the guy who ran away from the arcade because he was scared of losing. He has tried upset. Without the fighting game experience, he would have quit writing early. He would never have hit number 1. There would be no anime, no season 3, nothing. Think about that, the grandfather of modern isekai exists because a guy in his 20s couldn't handle losing in fighting games. That's beautiful. And some interesting facts through interviews. We do know some fun stuff. He loved cream puffs. His favorite ramen is chashu pork belly. He is close friends with Tapei Nagatsuki, the ReZero author, and Natsume Akatsuki, the Konosuba author. They met in the web novelist chat room around 2013, back when they were all amateurs trying to figure out publishing contracts. So now that we know the man behind the curtain, let's talk about what he actually built. Mushoku Tensei novel. The story started where all modern isekai royalty starts, on Shueisha ni Naruto, November 2012. No editor, no publisher, just a guy uploading chapters for free while working his day job. The web novel ran raw and unfiltered from 2012 to 2015, clocking in at 286 chapters split across 23 volumes of material. And here's the thing, when Maganote uploaded his first chapter, he wasn't trying to reinvent the genre, he was just writing the story he wanted to read. By October 2013, less than a year later, it hit number 1 on Shueisha ni Naruto's combined popularity rankings. And it didn't just visit the top spot, it moved in and redecorated. From October 2013 all the way to February 2019, over 5 straight years, it sat at number 1. In January 2014, Media Factory picked it up for the MF Books imprint with illustration by Shirota Otaka, and that's where the light novel version was born. Now if you're wondering what I was to read, the web novel or the light novel, here is the short version. The web novel is Magatori's Row, unedited first draft. The light novel is the polished final draft. Mushoku isn't a story about a teenager saving a world. It's about a man being born, growing up, falling in love, losing people, becoming a father, growing old and dying. The web novel and light novel cover Rudeus grew up from the moment he opened his eyes as a baby to the moment he closed them for the last time at 74 years old. That's not an arc, that's biography. That's why people couldn't stop reading. It wasn't just the magic system or the sword fights, though those are great. It was the emotional honesty. Magatori wasn't writing power fantasy, he was writing regret management. Every decision Rudeus makes is filtered through the lens of a guy who already blew his first chance and is terrified of blowing the second one. And let's talk about the world building, because this is where the novel separates itself from the pretenders. The Six Faces world isn't just a cool name, it's a fully recognized cosmology with its own history, gods, wars, and racial tensions that go back thousands of years. The Laplace War, the dragon god Orstrad, the human god Hitagami, the curse of the spirit race. This isn't lore dumped on you in a prologue. It's woven into the story through Rudeus' eyes, piece by piece, as he actually learns about the world. Now let's talk about the manga. The main manga adaptation is illustrated by Yuko Fujikawa, and it started serialization in Monthly Comic Flapper back in May 2014, just a few months after the first light novel dropped. But here's the thing you need to know upfront: this manga is an adaptation of the light novel, not the web novel. That means it follows a polished, retail version of a story, and for the most part it does a solid job. Fujikawa's art is rounded and softer than Shirakata's light novel illustrations, more traditional shonen manga style, with expressive faces and clean action. The backgrounds have real effort put into them, and the magic effects look great on a page. However, and this is a big however, the manga has a reputation of skipping content, and I'm not talking about trimming a few dialogue sentences here and there, I'm talking about entire arcs vanishing. But the manga does have one advantage: accessibility. If someone wants to get into Mushoku Tensei but doesn't have the patience for 26 light novel volumes, the manga is a faster entry point. It's monthly, it's visual, and it covers the major story beats, but you're trading depth for speed. Now the anime time! And I mean really talk about it, because the story of how this show even got made is almost as wild as the show itself. See, most anime adaptation get handled to an existing studio. Someone at Kadokawa goes, hey White Fox, can you squeeze this in between Re:Zero seasons? And that's that. But Mushoku Tensei, they built a whole studio for it. Studio Bint is a joint venture between White Fox and Egg Firm, and was founded specifically to ensure Mushoku Tensei got the long-term, high-quality adaptation it deserved. This wasn't some throwaway seasonal project. This was a studio created with one mission: do not mess this up. And season 1, they did not mess it up. The first thing that hits you is visuals. Studio Bint went all out. The backgrounds are hand-painted and gorgeous. The magic effects have weight and texture. The character animation, especially the small stuff, like Rudeus' nervous tics or the way Ares moves like a wild animal, feels lived in. But the real genius move, the voice acting setup. Rudeus has 2 voices actors. Yumi Uchiyama voices has spoken dialogue, but Tomokazu Sugita voices has inner monologue. That means every time Rudeus opens his mouth, he sounds like a kid, but in his head, he's a cynical broken 34-year-old man. That contact is everything. It's the whole show. Without Sugita's deadpan delivery of Rudeus' worst thoughts, the character doesn't work. It's one of the best casting decisions in modern anime. Then came season 2, and this is where the things got complicated. Hiroki Hirana, who had been an assistant director of season 1, took over the series direction, took over as series director for the first cour. And the season in particular got roasted online for looking ugly and unfaithful to Shirakata's novel illustrations. The animation, it was noticeable step down. Episode 0, the premiere, had stiff moments, inconsistent faces, and a general lack of the visual magic that made season 1 special. But here's the truth, Studio Bint wasn't a one-show studio anymore. By the time season 2 rolled around, they also produced Onimai I'm Now Your Sister, and were working on other titles. The resources got stretched, and it showed. Now the university arc is controversial among fans. It's slower, it's slice of life heavy, it's mostly setting up future plot lines that won't pay off until season 3 or 4. Some people love the quiet moments. Rudeus learning to trust again, his relationship with Sylphette slowly rebuilding, the goofy dorm life. Others checked out because they wanted Demon Continent level adventure, not Magic School cafeteria senses. So Season 1 gave us an adventure, Season 2 gave us the relationships, Season 3 is going to make us pay for all of it. After 2 years of silence, teases, and fans joking that Rudeus was never leaving that labyrinth, Mushoku Tensei Season 3 premiered on July 5th, 2026. And this is the season where the bills comes due. It's the season where Rudeus learns that being a husband, a father, and a man who finally has something to lose comes with a price tag, and the universe is about to cash that check. And if you read the novels, you know what's waiting in there. The fight that cost more than a hand. Slowly, piece by piece, the story stops being about one man's redemption and starts being about fate itself. This is the season that contains Turning Point 4, and I'm not going to spoil what happens, but if you know, you know. And if you don't, brace yourself, because Mushoku Tensei has always been willing to hurt its characters. But this turning point, it doesn't just hurt them, it redefines them. It is going to be one of the best seasons in anime.